Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm gonna show my first video on investing in the stock market, and it goes without saying, guys, this is not investment advice. Although I'm a pro, I've spent the last couple of weeks just watching a lot of YouTube videos on stock market, so I do consider myself a absolute professional. Going from an SEO agency and jumping into the stock market and devouring all the information and how the markets work and all the biggest problems in the world. And I believe I have a very, very good in-depth understanding of all the complexities. I'm just kidding, guys. So, all right, what I want to do is basically just kind of like get my thoughts out there and my reasoning behind how I'm going to be going about investing in this downturn. And the reason I want to do this whole thing is one, because I think this is, I've been kind of wanting to get into this for some time. This is why I always get ripped away from it. And since this is such a good time to get into it, I want to make it a whole, like, part of this, my whole, like, what I do basically, right? Not just an SEO agency, but I want to get better myself over the next 5-10 years as an investor. That'll be something I would really like to accomplish. And basically what I want to do is, if I can put my thoughts out there publicly, it kind of keeps me accountable and keeps my thoughts really in order to why I'm making certain investments. Whereas otherwise, a lot of times you can just be pretty impulsive. So having that said, let's get into it. So what you're looking at is my Vanguard account. And okay, guys, I know that you're not supposed to buy individual stocks from Vanguard. I realized it after. They have more fees than some of the other brokers. So please don't come at me like, oh my God, you don't know what you're doing buying stocks in Vanguard. I already know that. I saw that, I was just in the impression that Vanguard has the cheapest index funds. So I thought maybe they also have a very cheap or the cheapest brokerage fees for stocks, which is not the case. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, so first of all, I just bought the safest, I put in like 18K, right? The safest, half of that went to the safest, split, which is the total stock market index, right? So let me show you guys that real quick so you can see this thing right here. Vanguard's total stock market index fund, right? Oh yeah, and also this US growth fund index shares. So this is just basically the total stock market, right? Or I think for this one, yeah, this one is the total stock market, not even the S&P 500. Basically all the companies, it gets a split share for the amount of money you put in. If you don't know how that works, right? Just look it up. It's a very, how do you say, like a common way to invest nowadays. And it's most stock advice, like people who are giving advice to get exposure or invest in the stock market, are saying to do something like this, which is good, which I think is very responsible. That the common thing to do is to do this thing which works, right? In the past, it wasn't the case. In the past, I think more people were buying individual stocks and a lot of them would lose money. Whereas this one is a lot safer. And that's a good thing that it happens to be the common advice nowadays. Now, having that said, obviously, I think that I can beat the market, right? Now, that sounds really cocky, but anybody who is not buying total stock market funds and is buying individual stocks, deep down, they think they can beat the market. So there's no hiding it. So I should just be blunt and say it. Right? I think with my type of reasoning, there's a chance that I can beat the market by anywhere from 15 to 20%. Meaning like market historically, I think does like 7-8%. I think I can get 12-15%. I'm pretty confident actually I can get 12 to 15%, especially when things are so low right now. And maybe with the whole view, I think I can get up to 20% over the next like 2 to 3 years. So there you go. That's my reach goal with this whole thing. All right, so let's get into it. This thing right here, I put 5K. This thing right here, I put 3K. So let's open them up just so you can see how that works. So basically this was going at yeah, $36 a piece, and now it's $91. Wait, no, price is $67, right? So it's like pretty much like doubled between the time I got it. Now, what's interesting is this. At the time I got this, and this is like super lucky. Like, if I think any other way for me to catch this other than luck, it's very silly. I literally got it around this time. Like, if you look in the last month when it was the lowest, I pretty much got it there. Like, I'm serious. Like, I just got in, I came in, opened the account, my funds were being delayed. I was trying to buy it like around here or something. My fund was being delayed to come in the brokerage account, right? So I couldn't buy. And by the time it came in, I accidentally got the bottom. So it's super interesting, and which is why another reason why I think that this might be the time I actually do something very like luckily good in the market. If you guys watched my video until like very long time ago, you'd know that I tried to buy some stuff, some stocks, and more. I used to try to trade crude oil, but that was like a long time ago. I just shared it on the channel like maybe 3 years ago or something like that. But I tried that thing in like 2014, 15, and I lost every time. This time, accidentally, I'm not trying to be any ninja. I'm just trying to get in, and my plan was to dollar cost average, which if you guys don't know, basically what it means is that instead of trying to time the bottom of a market, right? Which we don't really know if this is even the bottom. For all we know, it could come here and then go down next. But the point is, instead of trying to time the bottom like this, what you'd be doing is every time there's a major dip, you just put some money in. And this is the first time I truly realize the power of that advice. It's one thing to understand, like just as a fact, like, oh yeah, every time it dips, just put like 10 or 20% more of the money you want to invest. But what I realized is the main power is not only do you get to buy it at prices that is to be a discount, right? Because the market is dipping, but you increase the chance of you catching like real bottoms. Now, in my case, I got super lucky because my fund was delayed, and pretty much I made only one trade. I bought stocks, most of them in like within a span of 1 to 2 days, and they're all pretty much around this time. And I'll break down to you guys to show what that looks like for the individual ones I bought. So let's see, what is this one? Okay, Google. Look. So let's see. Over the last month, okay, so that's 6 months, let's say. What is the bottom, you'd say? Right here? Somewhere right here, right? Probably this one right here. What? 1,054. Let's go check what I got it in. 1,065. I bought it in. The absolute bottom was 1,054. I got it in 1,065. Pretty insane. Let's see this one. Boeing. What are we at? I bought it at $98, right? So again, going for the last month, the last 6 months, let's see. Bottom was 95. For a month, it's 95.01. Something's interesting is, oh no, it's the same, never mind. Sometimes I feel like when you look in the zoom out, they don't show you the absolute bottom. That might be still true. But anyways, 95 was the bottom, right? Right now it's a 146. I got it at 98. $3 away from the absolute bottom. Crazy. This is not normal, obviously, right? So 314 I got Shopify. You can look it up. This is 447 now. Insane. Tesla 650. 443 I got it in. This was in the bottom. Tesla I bought later. Tesla I was waiting for it to go down more, which was very silly because at the time I was looking at it, I think it was like under 400. And I should have just bought a lot of Tesla stock. There's a lot of bulls for Tesla. That's all I'm gonna say in YouTube. Pretty much, if there's any channel looks like on stock market investing that is not supporting Tesla, they're basically not gonna be able to grow their YouTube channel. That's what it looks like. So Uber, I bought it at 14. Again, super bottom price if you look at it. Like, what's the bottom? 1482. Look at that. It's steep down, 1482. And I got it in, where is it? Uber right here. $14.88. Oh my God, I'm cents away from the absolute bottom. Holy shit. Like, that's 6 cents away from the absolute bottom. And look how steep that drop was. That's crazy. Like, this is what like they say, like, I'm not trying to catch a falling knife. You know, people who don't like trying to time, I caught the falling knife because my funds were delayed. It's insane. So that's what happened, guys. So, you know, little the basic the main thing I can share is that, you know, just from my investment, I'm already up like 20%. Like, from the whole goal I had to gain 15-20%, it's already hit that in like a couple of weeks because the market is crashing again. I'm like starting to realize the power of these, you know, some of these more common statements. You know, it's one thing to just hear like, yeah, when the market's going down, dollar cost average, but now when you actually put your money into it, you get to realize like how powerful it can be to follow a lot of the common, like, basic rules. Like, not trying to be anything cool too much, not trying to be a ninja. And I accidentally became a ninja by just trying to be following the basic rules, right? So I put in, it's at 23K right now, this account. And, you know, if you look at it, where's the, how do you show how much I put in? So you guys can see how cool I am, because I already made, yeah, I don't know how to show this, man. I put in like 18K, right? 8K went into these two funds, and these I just got individually, and together they're already at 23 because of the timing that I got these in. So that's that. Now, having this all said, let's talk a little bit about my ideas on why I picked these stocks, right? And what is my idea with the next buy I'm gonna do. Okay, so first of all, guys, this is how I'm keeping it very simple, right? This is really how I'm looking at this entire investment in terms of like what to buy. Okay, let me take out a chart. Let me use Tesla. Okay, so what I'm looking at is like this. Tesla has a huge run, right? This is not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is what the stock price has been over the last couple of years. And then I go check out literally what has the company been doing lately. Now, I'm not going to try to act like an expert. Like, I understand like in all the detail of like, you know, technology behind Tesla's like, you know, battery system, all this stuff, like I see like stock market companies, I mean, YouTube channels doing, like, you know, they picked the right stock, let's say it went up, and now they're explaining like insane concepts. Like, the reason I picked this is because like they have this technology that came in and stuff like that, which is true. You know, like Tesla is, you know, like Elon Musk when it comes to technology. I mean, you don't want to bet against this guy, but I feel kind of silly like explaining as if I understand to the core concept of how much more advanced Tesla is than Google. I don't know that stuff. What I do know is this, and this is the main thing I'm looking at. Is Tesla, can I see this company becoming a huge player in the next 5-10 years? And I 100% believe that, right? Not just in the car space, but if you look at what Tesla has in terms of like, you know, all the things they're into. I mean, they own the whole channel, right? They produce the batteries. They have the chargers. They're going to make the tunnels underneath the roads. this whole taxi thing that's coming out, like with the, like where you can have automated, fully self-driving. Once that thing is unlocked, and then you can send your cars to like basically be Uber for you and gain you money. They have that edge already. The new models are already coming with a camera that you can record inside the cabin. You see the confidence Elon Musk has on his predictions, and I mean, it's not even predictions. To him, it's like just a time, right? Like if you look at his previous videos in the last 5 years, right, and the things he says, some of it is like, it seems like motivation, like, oh my God, this guy's really, super positive about the future. But now when things are playing out, you look back and watch those videos, it's like, wait a second, he wasn't predicting. He was just saying what he's going to do at that month, at that time. Maybe he's off by 6 months to a year, but this is what like is an agenda. Like his goal book is the stock market for Tesla. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to talk about Tesla too much because there's so much stuff about them, but basically I'm just giving that, hats off to this guy. And I fully believe all the things that Tesla's doing. So that's how I'm looking at it. Same with Uber, same with Shopify, Tesla, Uber, Walt Disney I just got because it was kind of like a whim purchase, honestly. I thought that it was very low for and some of the things I was reading, and the fact that some of these big companies have investments in Walt Disney, that's one of the reasons I felt more safe into it. And that's one of the things I also do. Like I look at like Warren Buffett and I see that, okay, if he has a stock in something and it's like massively down, and let's say if he was to buy more when it's massively down, I would feel safe that, okay, I could get some shares of that, because obviously Warren Buffett knows what he's doing. So having that said, I just want to give one of my biggest ways that I'm like doing this vet through for me personally. And what I want to make really clear is that what it could sound like, Shiba, that's like any company, like, any company that you think will do a massive move in the future. That's like that's all the whole stock market. The stock market is down right now, so most companies will come back. Well, not necessarily. Like Google, I'm not looking to put more money in Google, right? If you look at Google stock, right, it's massively down. Right? Let's say it goes more down. This is what I'm waiting for. I put in like 18K around this price, and I'm waiting for it to go like here, right? At least another like 20%, so I can put another 15, 20K, let's say, right? But if it does, I'm not gonna buy Google. Why? Because I don't really see, I don't think it's that strong. I mean, obviously Google will be a player in years to come, but I don't think it's gonna be like a massive move. I personally, basically what I'm saying is I don't think it's undervalued. I think it's pretty priced in. Their stock is around $1,500 a piece. I think it's pretty priced in. Same with Amazon. You wrote it wrong. They're 2,000 already. Probably should have bought one. So I own one Amazon share, like I own one Google. But what I'm trying to say is, look how it's going up again, right? If it dips again, massively, I still wouldn't buy Amazon. So it's not like it's just I'm using where all the big companies in the tech, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and I would just buy all of them. No, based on the ones that I can see, from a little bit of research, making sure that best practices, which most of these companies have very good best practices, these big companies. But if I truly see that they are going to be a massive player in years to come, only then I would get in. Out of the big companies, the top 10, the only one I would get into more is Facebook. I think that I think Facebook at $200 a share and they're at $150. I think this is massively undervalued in my personal opinion, right? Meaning compared to if you were to ask me, hey, would you buy Google stock or Facebook? I would 100% go Facebook. All the way. Even though a lot of people might think that they're pretty much in the same same bracket, right? They're both big companies in the tech field. I would go with Facebook because I think that the way that Zuckerberg, just basically runs and the way he does certain things is very different, right? Google still makes a lot of mistakes, right? I mean, I wouldn't buy Google because I actually don't like them. They unlisted like a whole bunch of my listings. No, I'm kidding. But the point is, I think Google, the way they run everything, still makes a lot of mistakes. They have a huge team. That's why they get away with a lot of stuff. And, they kind of like, put stuff against the wall and see what works a lot of times. Whereas this guy, he's a lot more precise. And I think being the alien he has ideas to get into certain spaces in years to come, which can dramatically change the way we do, like, big sectors, maybe even in the finance space, right? Like he's trying right now. So if Facebook were to dip more, let's say it goes back to even 150, I would want to get some exposure on Facebook for sure. Okay. So just wanted to give you guys some idea on what I think. That's one of the main ways I'm looking at it. Do I see this being a huge thing for the entire world 5 years from now, 5 years? I'm not thinking like honestly that long term. I'll be fully honest, guys. Like a lot of these guys are saying like, oh yeah, you gotta be long term. I'm holding this for 10 years, 30 years. Cool. I'm not there yet. Mentally, I'm looking at like 2 to 5 years. Like that's like my point. If I'm looking at companies that I think will be big, some make a huge move over the next 3 to 5 years. I can't really think 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing at that time, right? 3 to 5 years from now, I can still think that I'm going to be, like still running. All right, guys, I had to pause the video because as I was recording this, I just realized something extremely stupid. Extremely stupid. All right, so if you look at it, just on April 1st, there was a purchase made for $1,000 for the total stock market again, and $500 for the US growth stock. And this is very silly because what happened was, as I was saying, when I was just getting into, or when I was making that purchase of 18K, which you can see below here, I put 5K, 3K, and then, funds received, 5K, 3K, and then 10K here. So I only put in 18K. This is all I was planning to put in. But then what I did was I wanted to start every month putting some money into the total stock market, right? Which is like actually one of the best ways to do it, honestly, like for most people. And the best way to do that is an automatic payment. So I didn't have it turned on all this time, and I was waiting, like for a time like this when let's say market crashes to start the process. So when I made this purchase a couple weeks ago, I had turned that on and I forgot to turn it off. So I literally just bought a little bit chunk of $1,500 of stock accidentally, pretty much like a couple of days ago, April 4th, right? It says, wait 1 second, let me check. What's the date? April 1st. Let's see where the market was at. Actually, not that bad. Holy shit. Because it went up a lot more. Yeah, not bad. All right, let's see. But it's still pretty stupid because I forgot to turn that off. What I wanted to do is, I was thinking of it like, okay, we're here right now. Let me just get in with a big chunk, and then every month I'm going to invest like around $1,000 to $1,500, consistently in the market, no matter what happens, up or down. But I don't want to kind of do that on automatic when it's so much volatility, because I probably just want to catch it at a time when it dips a bit more, which again looks like I did again. I'm not making this up, guys. Like I just seriously didn't know. I know the chance of me being right twice like this is very low. But then again, I mean, who knows? Maybe, maybe I'm in the wrong industry. Maybe I was supposed to be in the stock market like this whole time, and just SEO was a distraction. But anyways, I am going to turn it off right now because I don't want to, do that because I'm actively looking at the market and everything. So I don't think I want to be, basically buying this thing right now. Especially with what's going on. So anyways, let's carry on to the end of this video. I'm kind of dragging along, but basically this is what I am looking for, right? If I knew that this was such a bottom, like I'm very surprised that it kept on going up like this, because everything that I thought I knew about the market, how it works, and people working in the economy and everything, all that shit has been absolutely trash. Like it's all negative news. People are like dying out there, and I don't understand how it keeps going up, which again goes to show that it's the beast is, this is not some, I mean, this is not like a game to be played with in the short term, like at all, right? And it's very hard when you get it right, because right now I think, even though I'm joking about it, but in my mind I'm like, hey, like you did get it right, like pretty well. You could do it again, but it's not gonna happen, and you got to be very clear with your head that you're not gonna be able to do that. I mean, most people can't even do it like once, but there's no way you can do it as a strategy to rely on. So what I'm going to be doing is, since this is like going out of whack, what I'm expecting is for the market to crash more. I don't know how it cannot, like, not to say that it should go around 20 or 30% or like, all these estimates, but I'm saying, like, based on what's going out there, how are businesses, like, how is this even being dictated, right? Like, I understand that this is by perception, so maybe everybody thinks that things are going to get better soon. I'm not even sure if that's the common perception, though, because most people at this point, I think they think it should be going down. This just seems like it might be going up because of some whatever. I mean, there could be like 1,000 theories I can come up with. One of the things that people are saying is like, oh, they're like bailing out all the big companies, and Wall Street got such a big uplift, and like those grants and $1 trillion grants and shit like that can bail them out. So that might be helping. Who the hell knows? All I know is this: I got some good exposure at like literally best times, right? And I would like it to dip. Like, I don't mind. Like, this 5K that I made, I mean, this is not realized profits, right? It's all for all it is to me at this point is just an up and down until I cash out, which is not going to happen, like I said, for at least a year, right? At the least a year, I want to hold this until everything is back to, where it is. I mean, basically that's what it is. However long it takes to get back to the previous highs, 3,300. Until that time, I'm not going to be selling anything. And for the individual stocks, I'm going to be holding 3 to 5 years. Because like I said, my idea with those is not just to return back to market price, right? It's to the companies that I see can make a big difference in the next like 3 to 5 years, such as Tesla is an obvious one, that I think, anybody like, it doesn't hurt to have some exposure to Tesla for anybody. And the other ones I wanted to hold like 3 to 5 years. Whereas the stock market, I might let go of most of that, like the big chunk when it returns here, and then just continue my month-to-month, investing in it that I'm doing over time. So that's pretty much my idea with it. To recap, this video, this is what basically I've done so far. I'm hoping that it dips another like until here, from like 2,200. If it goes under 2K, I'm gonna start buying. If it goes to like 1,800, I'm definitely like putting in the other chunk of my money, like most of, like, I want to put in around like probably at least another 20 to 30K, so 50K in the stock market over the next couple of weeks to over the maybe next 1 or 2 months, right? If this is it, if this just recovers the way it is and just keeps going up, then I don't know what to say. Then I probably won't do anything else, right? Then probably I'll just go, stick to my dividend portfolio, which I want to make a video about it in the next coming days. But that's pretty much where I'm at, right? I'm just waiting for this thing to go way more down. And the last thing I'll say is this. I'm going to show my dividend portfolio that I just also, got into like a week and a half ago. And then the last thing, this is the last thing in the stock market that I'm doing, is I'm making a list of stocks. And this is where it gets really risky. This is me doing the things that you're not supposed to do, right? But then again, if you're gonna, like, for anybody who's picking individual stocks, they think they can beat the market. So what I'm gonna be doing in the next couple of weeks is studying a little bit, and I'm gonna make a list of stocks. Not many, maybe like 6 to 10 stocks that are actually very undervalued, meaning, they're not going to be all big companies. And what I'm going to basically be trying to do is trying to see how things play out if I was to give everything the way I think about the market and make some decisions on some stocks to buy. And again, guys, this is not going to be a big part of my portfolio. It's probably going to be like, if I'm putting 50K and most of them are going into like these kind of big companies and the stock market in general, maybe in total for those 6 to 10 stocks, I'll put in like 1,000 each. That's kind of like what I have in mind, right? So that will probably be maximum of 10,000. And 5 to 10K in total for that part. So even if I lose that part, at least I'll have the other 35, 40K in the normal market, which in the long term is always going to be a long play, right? I mean, like a buy. In the long term, given any time frame you're looking at, like given enough long term, you could say that the market is always a buy, whether it be here, whether it be here. Because if you're holding it for decades, then it'll always come back. But just to know just so you guys understand my point, the last sector of around 10K that I'm looking to put in is going to be stocks that I think has a chance of going anywhere 5 to 10 times their current worth over the next 3-5 years, maybe a bit more. Because 10x is that's a lot of return. To 10x a company, if you look at even like the most successful companies, even Tesla, like everybody talks about, if you look at what it had to happen for it to go to 10x, like even if you go to like 2015, well, $200, 2015 is not that long time ago, let me see. Yeah, here, 2012, 13. If you bought Tesla then, for it to 10x, then it would have been 10xing in 2018, which if you remember, I mean, in hindsight, it looks like, oh my God, if I bought it here. But if you like remember what Tesla sounded like at that time, it was really crazy. It was really crazy. Like there's no way you could have even thought that he would be as good as he is. I read his book, like I think in 2014, when his first TED Talk came out, and I became a fan of Elon Musk. Actually, quite a bit before everybody started talking about it. It became like super famous like that. There was like I actually read his book like 1 or 2 years before that. And if I had bought it then, if you saw, then that would have been gain. But obviously, I didn't know anything about the stock market at that time. Like I said, hindsight is always 20/20. But what I was trying to point out is, if you bought it in 2012, that's like when I just came to America. I'm like learning like McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't that naive. But like, I didn't know anything about anything at that time, right? It's just like a kid from high school. If you bought it at that time and then you held it, that's another thing. Holding it through all the like turmoil that comes and then letting it go here. That's what it takes to get 10x. So 10x is extremely difficult. 10xing your money in even a decade is not normal at all whatsoever. It's extremely difficult to do, which is why most of my money is going to go into in the general stock market, because I'm looking to get around, like I said, market gets 7 to 10% or whatever. I'm looking to get 12 to 15%. I'll be very happy if a year from now and the whole thing that I got into is like 15%. I would put it on some kind of medal that I beat the market for 1 year. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to make it any more longer. So just let me know some comments, guys. If you guys actually watched this, just put it in the comments. Last video, I think 3 people commented. It actually makes me feel better. Like, honestly, I don't know like why, but I hate it every other social media. But if a couple people comment on YouTube, I feel like it's I get a kick out of it. It makes it worth it for me, because I'm just like sharing stuff that I'm literally I don't put up anywhere else. It's not like I have friends and family like who I like share all this stuff with like on a day-to-day, but like anyways, so if you guys are watching this, just comment some stuff, let me know your thoughts. If you're investing right now in the stock market, let me know. We can maybe even like all get in a talk or something like that and kind of like make some calls, even if it's on a dummy account. I just want to like get into some kind of discussion on like what people thinks, and then ends up in eventually what ends up happening, and how we benefit from it. All right, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.